Hello everyone, I'm here with my 2021 Aprilia Tuono factory V4 and today I'll be installing radiator and oil cooler guards from Trex Racing. The package comes of course with the guards. It's also having, looks like some foam spacing pads as well as some zip ties. So let's jump right in. So first and foremost, we're going to need to remove the lower oil pan area here, the belly pan area, and you're going to need a 4mm hex socket. Just make sure you hold it as you release the last bolt. One more underneath. It's easier to get to from the right side. It's offset. So you can see it's this one from underneath, so it's easier to get to from underneath from the right side. Alright, next is at the bottom of the oil cooler bracket there's going to be an 8mm, so you need an 8mm socket, and then on the other side of it is going to be a 10mm. Right, so you just got to take this one out, and then you can mount the oil cooler with that bolt down there, and then for the top mounting over here of the oil cooler guard, you're going to use zip ties and mount to the factory bracket. Alright, so I'm going to tighten. After removing the bottom one, I was able to fit the radiator guard on the oil cooler and then fit the bolt there. I'm going to tighten that down. And then the top ones of course are held in by zip ties, so you have these two locations up there, and you could easily just wrap them around the bracket. That's the factory bracket that's holding the oil cooler radiator unit together. But if you want a little bit of a cleaner, just a little bit cleaner install, you can actually route the, I would say, the ratcheting end through the back, and then tighten it back here so you're not seeing that kind of nub, that ratcheting nub on the front or the face of the radiator guard. So it's a little bit cleaner. I know there's still the factory cover on top, but again, if you just want a little bit cleaner install. Alright, so everything's tight and installed, and that's what that looks like. Okay, so it does seem like for the next step the partial fairing has to come out, so you'll need that same 4mm hex socket that we used to remove the belly pan. You'll need to take this one out on the right side, and then you'll see kind of like underneath there's another one over here, right? So those are the two 4mm that's holding the right side upper fairing. And of course, same for the left side. There's gonna be 3 like push pins, right? So you'll see this one, 1, 2, and then there's another one all the way there. 1, 2, and then 3. And then on the left side, you're also having the push pins, right? You see the 2 with in the left and the right side of the Olin's fork there. All right. So once the hardware is out, this just slides right out, this piece, right? And you can see the 3 mounting holes and then the 2 bolts for the right side. All right, for this next step, it's going to be a little bit tricky, not impossible, but you're going to need a 7mm wrench, and then you're going to have to, I think it's like a 2.5mm. You could see here in the radiator, there's these like screws, and that's a 2.5mm hex. You need to take 4 of them out, and behind it is the 7mm nut. So you need to somewhat hold the nut behind it, and that's why we needed to take the side panels out. Especially because if you look here on the Trex Racing radiator guard, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on the bike, there's actually going to be 6. There's going to be 2 more right in the middle up here. You don't need to take those out. You only need to take out where these 4 mounting holes will be. All right. I went ahead and just cut up on the flip side some of the kind of foam pieces here. Right. I just put like 1, 2, 3, 4, and to help with the rattling, just in case. And I also did something similar. I ended up putting also on the lower, on the coolant, which you can do if you want, just to be safe. I did it. And so that's the radiator guard, and it's gonna fit up in there. But again, just make sure you have these tools, because it's a 2.5mm like hex. Like if you have a socket, that's small, great. I have a hex key and then a 7mm wrench. So this is the hardware that's coming out of it, and definitely like these are the ones from the front. So it's like you got the nut and the washer, and then like the bolt with like a little spacer there. Those pretty much just fall out from the back, and it's pretty tricky, I'm not gonna lie. And then you can just see the holes in the radiator where there's mounting. So I can already anticipate this is not going to be an easy part. This is probably going to be the hardest part, as the hardware is very small, and it'll be interesting. In order to get like the right side top bolt, I'm going to take out this radiator bolt, because I need to get behind there. So this one has to come out as well. All right, so once the radiator is out, you can see behind, this is like the only one that's different. It's not a 7mm, but it's actually like from the front. I just started taking it apart, and with a 2.5 hex, and it seems like, so like that one right there, right? So that's the 2.5 hex, and it seems to actually just be loose. So I'll see what to do about this one, but looks like maybe a 12mm or 10mm wrench will fit in there to help tighten that up. But maybe I can show you guys here. I know a lot of this is hard to capture. See, this is like pretty loose, and you can see there it's just backing out, so I'm definitely going to tighten that up, because factory that was loose, like not even just coming out. That wasn't even tight. But now I have one, a bit tricky, so this one, this one, and then up there, that one, so these two stay. Alright, see, I'm going to start with the upper left here. This was the weird one. Okay, so I got these little let me see if I can try to get it here. So I got those little baby spacers back in. So it's like the little spacer that goes between the radiator and then the fan, and then put the washer in the nut. So, not gonna lie, it was a little bit frustrating. But I think from this on out, I can reassemble it. And you can see, it does look good. So, I'll try to do a final shot once it's all reassembled, but reverse procedure. And yeah, it looks good, guys, but just take your time with those little baby bolts that's holding those 4 bolts into the radiator. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the content. Definitely thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay safe out there.